Hello, this is Edwin from Think to Win, and I'm here with my Narukami deck profile. I'm missing out one card because I might make changes on the deck overall. I'm not going to bother waiting for that one card. I might get it out later this week, but yeah. And I also using Pelennor sleeves because I didn't have KMC on hand and I want to test this deck tomorrow at locals. That much for the introduction. Well, basically my starter's Linshu, Forerunner ability. When this boosts the unit and attacks and it hits the Vanguard, you can put this into soul, counter +1, retire grade 1 or 0 unit from your opponent's side of the field. Very, very good starter. Basically Saishin, but a bit better. And yeah, I recommend running this over the grade 3 Searcher because if you run the grade 3 Searcher and don't get grade 3, you basically minus yourself. And this one doesn't minus itself unless it gets retired, but yeah, then your opponent is retiring units. But yeah, pretty much set for the starter. Yeah. Next, for the trigger lineup, I run the basic 8 crit, 4 draw, and 4 heal. Reason being is that either have to run stance or run non-Eradicator triggers, which I don't recommend using if you want to get Descendant's effect off as consistently as possible. Next, I run 4 of the 7k plus 3k when it attacks if you have already get the Vanguard, so basically always. Yeah, these are like the most important cards in the meta right now because they can pressure your opponent. They're like 10k all the time, so you can hit any grade 2 and grade 1s, unless they're running like brutal check in English. Yeah, so yeah, very, very, very good card. Yeah, so you just bash with it on the rear guard, attack, if you get grade 2 or grade 3, you put it back and put another in front of it so it can become a booster. And it's 7k as well, so it's pretty very, very good. Next, I'll run 4 of the 7k plus 3k whenever you retire an opponent's rear guard. Yeah, it's either run discard or run discard or drop this 10k booster, but I recommend at least using discard as in the deck because it can become a 10k booster, so if you have the 12k attack in front of it or 11k rear guard, it will become a 21k or 22k row. Discard requires your opponent to have 2 or less rear guards, so it's not as consistent as discard because you know when this card effect goes off and this one sometimes doesn't. That's why I rather run this one instead. And yeah, I already talked about 10k boosters, so I'll show you. I'm running 3 10k boosters and 3 gulds. Reason I'm missing 1 guld, so when I have my 4th one I'll probably run this like this, but right now I only have 3 gulds. It's pretty much the only card I'm missing for the deck I want to run tomorrow, or at least want to test out. Also, the 10k boosters, I'm not running the 7k drop card because I don't think that's consistent enough. At least for me, at least, because usually my opponents rush me to death, so I can't use this card as often as I'd like. And yeah, that's pretty much for the grade 1 lineup. Next, for the grade 2s, I run 4 10ks, 4 9 12ks and 3 Cho-ou. Well, I showed them all together because I want to explain something first. Well, Cho is Cho, so there's not much to explain about him. I think he's better than Dragonic Descendant because he's the Eradicator, and well, it's like a sort of Kimnara but for front row, so it's a bit worse than Kimnara because basically you have to call to rear guard. You put 1 card from your side of the field into your own soul, and then you can retire unit on your opponent's front row. So yeah, it's a good unit, but it isn't better than Kimnara. I still think Kimnara is better because you can consistently get rid of boosters and Cho-ou can't. Next, for the 4 10ks, and well, basically the 4 9k 12ks are like, I mean, the fact that you can rush your opponent when they throw to grade 1, if they usually will run a 7k because of the archetype limitation, so this will force out 10k shield. That's why this card is very, 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 very good in the new meta. I recommend always running 4 in every archetype you can, because you can also hit the Vanguard, your opponent's Vanguard at when they arrive to grade 3, because they're usually 11k and this is a 12k, so that's why this card's very, very good. Next for the 410k. 410k is pretty much because of the archetype thing going on, that most units are 9k base, like Cho-ou or the Spark Rain. You could switch this out for, you could run it like this, like I have multiple Suitons, so I could run Suiton instead of 10ks and maybe run a Cho-ou more. But the reason I'm running 4 10ks right now is because I want to see whether in the new meta having a 10k Vanguard is better, because if they are riding 9k and you have a 10k Vanguard, you can block for 10 for no pass, because most of the starters will be 5k. That's why. Which is very, very important, especially against stuff like Link Joker, and maybe right now against Escort. Maybe your opponent will ride Escort early and they have like Spring Breeze Messenger boosting. Don't think people will run Ringo Liberator. Having a 10k Vanguard will really help. Especially if they put multiple Escorts on the field, they cannot hit your Vanguard, which is very useful. So that's why I run 4 10ks. If you guys prefer like a Suiton, I would switch it out for Suiton, but I myself prefer having 10ks. They're also very good rear guards because they can hit any grade 2, grade 1 rear guards as well. So that's why I like running 4 10ks. So that's for the grade 2 lineup. Next, for the grade 3 lineup, I run 3 Foaming Sword, 3 Gauntlet Buster, and 2 Dragonic Descendant. On Cardfight area I always rode Descendant first, even though I didn't want to ride it first, so yeah, my game pretty much died after that, so that's why I only want 2. Gauntlet Buster and 3, because I don't really like, if you run 2 Gauntlet Buster, you're not gonna get it on Vanguard so more often, so I'd like to run 3 instead, and I'll see whether 3-3 will give me enough consistency to get the break guard off, or at least have Gauntlet Buster as my Vanguard first. That's why I'm running 3-3. Yeah. So that's pretty much for the grade 3 lineup. Yeah, so break guard skill. Then read another Narukami unit on it, grade 3 or higher. You get 10k power and can retire your opponent's front row units. Also gains 3k whenever you attack your opponent's Vanguard. So yeah, that's for Foaming Sword. Gauntlet Buster skill, counter +2 Eradicators. Your opponent has to choose a rear guard to retire. Limit break ability, whenever your opponent's rear guard gets put to the drop zone, it gains +3k power and +1 critical. So yeah, it will always hit for 21 with a 7k booster. And Dragonic Descendant, everybody knows the skill. When this gets guarded, attack doesn't go through. +1 drop to the Eradicator and you can restand and attack again. So that's pretty much for Dragonic Descendant. So basically what you want to do is like have Foaming Sword, break rate with the Gauntlet Buster, use Gauntlet Buster skill all the time, then late game right into Descendant and pressure your opponent into guarding. Guarding. They have to guard if they're at 5 damage, so into either no guarding, get a critical, or having them guard if they're at 5 and restanding again and troll hope they have to drop more guard. You even get +1 critical with Descendant as well, so that's even more broken. But in general, Descendant by itself isn't good, but the fact that it's in Eradicator makes it good. Same with Dode. Like if Dode was in like a Mega Colony or something, it would be less good. So yeah, that's the end of my deck profile. Hope you guys like it. If you like the videos, please subscribe and like. And if you guys have any comments regarding the deck profile, be sure to put them down below, and I'll be sure to answer them quickly. Might make an update to the deck profile when I make some different changes, but yeah, we'll see. So see you guys at the next video.